we only have about 10 minutes before the close of this session. And I would like to ask some questions that people have posted. And I invite you to note the questions, and then I'll ask each one to respond. The first question is, are there any consideration for subsidies on solar kits as they prove expensive to set up and start up? Are there any consideration or subsidies for these solar kits? Number two, please, you may note the questions. Do we have solar power systems for small-scale farmers that can support domestic activities and provide enough water to manage 1 hectare of vegetables? So Gideon, maybe you can take that, or Ross, or Mr. Daka. And then do we have tax exemptions? I mean, you can add that one to the subsidies. Do we have tax exemptions on solar irrigation kits, And others are saying, how can farmers increase efficiency to still be economically sustainable and environmentally friendly while feeding a growing population? And the last one, before I move on to the next set, is there any cheaper way to access solar-powered irrigation? Again, a similar question has already been asked. So maybe let me start with you, Mr. Mikos, Mr. Ross. Maybe you could respond to one of those. I know you noted. And then we can go to Mr. Gideon and then Mr. Daka.
Thank you. I'm going to address the one with regard to the kits. I think as was highlighted by Gideon, the beauty of solar is that you can upscale it to, or downscale it to whatever your needs are. And I think that there are a number of producers around, and as the technology that is going to be created in the industry is there, we need to start building our own kits and not looking just for a standard kit. There are tax exemptions on all solar. There's no tax on solar, income tax on solar imports, so we can look at that as well. But I do believe that there is a market for the smaller solar kits, and we can look around to see if we can find kits for that. But again, that can all be linked back to what I was talking about on a net offset arrangement. As long as ZESCO has a facility in their billing capacity to be able to address it, you can work on it so that if they do have solar and ZESCO, they can offset. Thank you.
Would you like to add something, Mr. Gideon Grevenstein?
Yeah, I would like to add. In connection with the subsidies, as a private company, we don't provide subsidies. So you have to link up with either NGOs or government programs to provide subsidies, and that can be dealt with on a case-by-case basis. And there are some programs that roll out programs that are subsidized. But as solar companies, we don't provide subsidies per se. Then in terms of the kits, there are a number of companies that offer kits. Our company also offers kits that are very well-designed kits, from very small to very large. We have also launched an online solar store where many of these kits are advertised. So other companies have also followed a similar approach, and the way to bring down the cost is to properly design systems. We come in the market across systems that are very poorly designed, and so this is a nascent industry, and it took the industry some time to realize what the proper balance of the different systems should be. So for instance, if you design a solar system and you don't properly match the number of solar panels or the size of the solar panels to the inverter to the batteries, you can end up with a system where the batteries only last 6 months, although they're supposed to last a couple of years. So that will increase the cost of solar. So the best way initially to decrease the cost of solar is to have a very well designed solar system. And
I think we had lost him brief. Okay. The other thing I wanted to ask, there's a question here. Do we have any private commercial solar power plants? Do we have an experience here in Zambia or Southern Africa for maybe an installation of 1 megawatts to 4 megawatts? Do we have any examples of such a capacity installed in terms of solar, either in Zambia or in Southern Africa? Do we have examples?
yeah, I think in South Africa there will be examples. I can't think of any specific examples, but the best examples will be the South African Renewable Energy Private PPA, Private Power Producer Program. But they sign contracts with ZESCO. But there are companies that are selling to big users like big mining companies and so there are examples. Unfortunately, I cannot refer you to a specific example where these power purchasing arrangements was made. But there are some specific companies that make agreements on a one-to-one basis for large, maybe it could be a large shopping center or factory where they will set up the facilities and sell the power. So in effect, they're a power company. And the easiest way to become a power company is to put solar panels on your roof and then get a ZESCO agreed to buy the power from you. So you're a power user and you're a power provider as well. So in South Africa, there's a number of municipalities that have allowed that. So you can use power and you could provide power back into the grid, and they will pay you for the power that you put back into the grid. So it's a little bit tongue in the cheek, but even each homeowner can become a small power producer and sell power back into the grid.
Mr. Ross, did you want to add something there, or we are okay? Hello?
Yeah, I did. Gideon, I agree with you wholeheartedly on that one. Basically, that was the emphasis on what I was doing. It's basically called the net offset arrangement, power arrangement. And there are a couple of programs here. We have a 36 megawatt at MFES in Lusaka, and I think the other one is nearly 60 megawatts. They're supplying into the grid as power producers. There's a small one at Copperbelt University, and there's a small one at Chisamba at God Farm that do that. But basically what we're talking about is providing power with a plant, selling to a dedicated off-taker who you can bank, and using the ZESCO grid to wheel the power. That's really what I just wanted to talk about. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. The other questions pretty much have been answered, because you did talk about efficiencies and you made the justification as to why it is important to invest in a solar system. You've also indicated how we can have strategic relationships between grid power produced by ZESCO, power produced by independent power producers, and also having a solar system within a given farm. And you've indicated how best that power can be used even at a farm, as technology which is properly managed, properly engineered, one can get good benefits for it and make a good case, a commercially viable case. Having said that, gentlemen, I would like to thank you very much for these presentations and sharing your knowledge. I'm sure your contacts will be shared so that mentorship can be provided, and if people need further guidance or questions, we should be able to get more of your guidance. Please, thank you very much for those robust experiential sharing with the team. And I hand over now to Mwansa Mushota, And from me, it is adios. Have a good day, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. For everybody in Hoover, we will be able to respond to all the questions from the speakers. Thank you everyone for joining us. This was very an informative workshop. I'd like to thank our speakers, Mr. Gideon Grevenstein from Sunray Power Company Limited, Mr. Joseph Daka, a farmer in Mkushi, Mr. Ross Michelsen from Hive Energy. I would also like to thank our facilitator, Dr. John Kunda. Participants are kindly urged to go to the agenda on Hoover and participate in the workshop evaluation course. My name is Mwansam Shotam, and I have been your host for this workshop. I thank you once more. Bye-bye.
Mwansa, also thank you very much for you and the efficiency with which you have organized and conducted this workshop. Thank you very much to you and also to my other colleagues.
Okay, thank you very much. I do apologize for the internet issues that we had with streaming live. So we had to start a bit late.
It's technology, my sister. It's called technology. It happens. Mr. Daka can tell you that it happens. Thank you. Have a good one. Thank you.
Okay, so there are some questions that are on Hoover.
I asked them.
Yes, and I don't know if our speakers are able to go back to Hoover and check the questions and just reply to the individuals that asked those questions. It will allow for more conversations, even in future, beyond our time today.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else?
Thank you very much indeed for your time, and thank you for the platform. Good day.
All right. Okay. Have a good day.